Welcome to xNarrator. Tonight, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman held an Ask Me Anything on X about OpenAI's agreement with the Department of War. Here are all 32 questions and Sam's answers. Someone asks.
Why was this done so quickly? What was the rush?
Sam Altman responds.
For a long time, we were planning to do non-classified work only. We thought the W clearly needed an AI partner, and doing classified work is clearly much more complex. We have said no to previous deals in classified settings that Anthropic took. We started talking with the DW many months ago about our non-classified work. This week, things shifted into high gear on the classified side. We found the DW to be flexible on what we needed, and we want to support them in their very important mission. The reason for rushing is an attempt to de-escalate the situation. I think the current path things are on is dangerous for Anthropic, healthy competition, and the US. We negotiated to make sure similar terms would be offered to all other AI labs. I know what it's like to feel backed into a corner, and I think it's worth some empathy to the W. They are a very dedicated group of people with an extremely important mission. Our industry tells them the technology we are building is going to be the high-order bit in geopolitical conflict. China is rushing ahead. You are very behind. And then we say, but we won't help you, and we think you are kind of evil. I don't think I'd react great in that situation. I do not believe unelected leaders of private companies should have as much power as our democratically elected government. But I do think we need to help them.
Someone asks.
The optics look terrible. How do you see this landing?
Sam Altman responds.
It was definitely rushed, and the optics don't look good. We really wanted to de-escalate things, and we believe this is the right thing to do. The contract includes strong protections, and we will be transparent about what we can be transparent about.
Where do you see AI being most useful for defense?
Sam Altman responds.
They will have their own opinions, but the two things I am currently most worried about where AI can help are, first, the threat of engineered pandemics, which I think is the scariest near-term existential risk. And second, cybersecurity, both offensive and defensive.
Someone asks.
What would you do if the government asked you to do mass domestic surveillance?
Sam Altman responds.
We would not do that because it violates the Constitution. Also, I cannot overstate how much the DW agreed with us on this. They were emphatic that they do not want to do mass domestic surveillance. It is against their values and against the law.
Someone asks.
What are OpenAI's red lines in this deal?
Sam Altman responds.
We currently have 3 red lines. I could see us changing them or adding more as the technology evolves. First, no mass domestic surveillance. Second, humans must remain responsible for decisions about the use of force, including autonomous weapons. Third, we will not help develop biological, chemical, nuclear, or radiological weapons. The DW agreed to all 3.
Go on. Asks.
How are your red lines different from Anthropic's?
Sam Altman responds.
We both continue to have very similar red lines. We continue to both believe DPA and SCR actions are very scary. I believe we may have a different opinion on what to rely on to enforce those red lines. We believe the contract and laws are important, but also, we really have to be able to depend on building a great safety stack and to have experts work on ensuring the model does what it's supposed to do. We negotiated hard for this.
Someone asks.
What exactly does OpenAI control versus what the Pentagon controls?
Sam Altman responds.
We deliver a system, including choosing what models to deploy, and they can use it bound by lawful ways, including laws and directives around autonomous weapons and surveillance. But we get to decide what system to build, and the DW understands that there are a lot of risks we deeply understand. We can, and will, build a lot of protections into that system, including for ensuring that the red lines are not crossed. The DW is supportive of this approach.
Someone asks.
Aren't you worried about what's happening to Anthropic? The SCR designation?
Sam Altman responds.
Enforcing the SCR designation on Anthropic would be very bad for our industry and our country, and our contract expressly says we want them to offer these terms to everyone. I am genuinely worried about the Anthropic situation. I think what's happening sets a dangerous precedent. We advocated strongly for fair treatment of all AI companies.
Someone asks,
Some people say you won't criticize the Department of War because you just got a deal. Is that fair?
Sam Altman responds,
I know what it's like to feel backed into a corner, and I think it's worth some empathy to the W. They are a very dedicated group of people with an extremely important mission. I cannot imagine doing their work. Our industry tells them the technology we are building is going to be the high-order bit in geopolitical conflict. China is rushing ahead. You are very behind. And then we say, but we won't help you, and we think you are kind of evil. I don't think I'd react great in that situation.
someone asks,
Were there any threats from the government to get you to sign?
Sam Altman responds,
No explicit or implicit threats. In fact, I could tell that, as of Wednesday, the DOU was still genuinely uncertain which way things would go. They were negotiating in good faith.
someone asks,
What were your 3 big takeaways from this AMA?
Sam Altman responds,
3 general things from this AMA. First, there is more open debate than I thought there would be about whether we should prefer a democratically elected government or unelected private companies to have more power. I guess this is something people disagree on, but I don't. Second, there is a question behind a lot of the questions. What happens if the government tries to nationalize OpenAI or other AI efforts? I obviously don't know, but it doesn't seem super likely on the current trajectory. Third, people take their safety in the national security sense more for granted than I realized, which I think is a good thing on balance, but I don't think shows enough respect to the tremendous work it takes for that to happen.
Jeffrey Miller at Each Miller asks,
In your quest to build artificial superintelligence, what's the maximum PDUM you're willing to impose on all of our kids without our consent?
Sam Altman responds,
I have never known how to put an exact number on PDUM, to say nothing of how to think about the differential. I will say this, if I thought going to work every day made it less likely that we all continue to thrive into the future, I would retire and just hang with my kids.
Alex CVJ at AlexCVJ asks,
How did you go from a tool for the betterment of the human race to let's work with the Department of WARs?
Sam Altman responds,
I value my liberty and safety, and yours. I believe that strong democracy, and a strong US in particular, is a very good thing for the world. The 16-year-old me thought every country should just abolish their Defense Department at the same time. I wish he were right, but I now think the world is a much more fragile place.
Nicholas Decker at KeptGouda24 asks,
If the DOW gives you what you believe to be an unconstitutional order, do you refuse to follow it until the courts rule?
Sam Altman responds,
I don't think this will happen. But of course, if we are confident it's unconstitutional, we wouldn't follow it. The Constitution is more important than any job, or staying out of jail, or whatever. In my experience, the people in our military are far more committed to the Constitution than an average person off the streets.
Jack Kaido at This Jack Kaido asks,
If AGI is achieved, could it not resist OpenAI's constraints and deliver controversial use cases regardless?
Sam Altman responds,
This is a more general point. If we have a loss of control with AGI, we are probably in a very bad place. I've heard some colleagues I really respect say that as long as it loves humanity, even if we lose control, we are probably okay. Maybe they are right, but I personally think it's really important humanity stays in control. This is one of the most important areas of long-term alignment research.
Ross Dutha at eDutha asks,
Is the SCR designation against Anthropic an extremely scary precedent?
Sam Altman responds,
Yes, I think it is an extremely scary precedent, and I wish they handled it a different way. I don't think Anthropic handled it well either.
Gekaminsky at Ikekaminsky asks,
What percentage of OpenAI's board has a say in these decisions?
Sam Altman responds,
0%. I wish they still did. I would have had a better week.
Nesiba Kiris @Nesiba Kiris asks,
should there be independent oversight of AI in military applications?
Sam Altman responds,
Yes, this seems like a very good idea. I will talk to the team.
Quantum Tumbler @HE Quantum Tumbler asks,
if you were asked to do something unconstitutional or illegal, would you walk away?
Sam Altman responds,
If we were asked to do something unconstitutional or illegal, we will walk away. Please come visit me in jail if necessary.
ChatGPT21 @ChatGPT21 asks,
will the W be able to fine-tune or modify your models themselves?
Sam Altman responds,
Yes, they will absolutely not be able to do that.
McBurn @TMCBurn asks,
Would you turn off the models if they were being misused?
Sam Altman responds,
Yes, we will turn it off in that very unlikely event, but we believe the US government is committed to lawful and responsible use.
Tizzle @Titzel asks,
Are you worried about taking on the government if they push back?
Sam Altman responds,
Yes, I am. If we have to take on that fight, we will, but it clearly exposes us to some risk.
Austin @Austin asks,
did Anthropic get the same terms you did?
Sam Altman responds,
No, we had some different ones, but our terms would now be available to them and to every other AI company.
Someone asks,
how do you think about non-domestic surveillance?
Sam Altman responds,
Thinking through non-domestic surveillance, I have accepted that the US military is going to do some foreign intelligence gathering and that AI will be part of that. What I care about is that it's done lawfully and with strong oversight.
Grr.
Did the 110 billion round investors know about the W deal?
Sam Altman responds,
The round was closed before this all happened, so new investors were not aware. This is small from us in terms of revenue.
That concludes the Sam Altman AMA on xNarrator. 32 questions about OpenAI's Department of War agreement. For daily audio from X, visit xNarrator.com.